demons, and the Lord said, you can't bind me. He says, because I resist the proud. So he says, humble yourself, then you can resist the devil. Submit, resist, and the devil will flee. We forgot the word submit. You like that sound of that word? Submit. Does that get you excited? Submit. You know, everyone's getting we should have a submission conference. You know, first you have a patience conference. Ever had a seminar on patience? Long-suffering conference. Ever heard of one? Alright? Patience conference, backed up with submission conference. And get everyone to wait a while before we start. Hallelujah. Without patience, you're not going to inherit the promise. Without faith, you're not going to get the promise. So we'll focus on faith, but we won't focus on patience. And we'll focus on many things, but the issue of humility is the key. I call it the humility key. It opens every door. If you can have humility, that key will open every door. Because when you get that key, you get grace. And grace will blow up anything, open anything. Grace. It's amazing grace. You're saved by grace. Saved by grace.
There's a challenge.
What's the challenge?
A quick challenge. What Juliana just said is count others higher than yourself. What God showed me, and that's something I ask Him every day. I ask Him, show me who this person is. Not who they are, who they've been, who they are. Because what God does is He shows me who He made that person to be. And if you see somebody in God's image, you cannot not respect them. If you see this purpose-made person and who God made them to be, you've got so much respect for God, you cannot disrespect that person. Sometimes I do forget, but God doesn't freeze you in time. We remember somebody the way they were, and we freeze them in time and we think they are still the same. We've grown, we are better, but they are still the same. Allow people to grow and see them the way God sees them. That's a difficult one, but it's an awesome one.
We're called to make disciples, and that's what Kingdom is about. It's making disciples, and a disciple, when we disciple someone, our job is to call forth the destiny of that person. So we mustn't look at the flesh. We no longer know each other after the flesh, but after the Spirit. And therefore we've got to prophesy to the Spirit to come forth into that divine destiny. But we get caught up in the flesh, and we think it's discernment. But if you really discern the spirits, you'll understand the spirits that are operating around that person that you can bind. Not to discern, the person, but to discern who God made that person, so that you can call them forth. So you need to pray for people, break the demons off of them. Okay? That's called intercession. And then see what the Lord says and call that person forth. And then the flesh will disappear. But what we do, we think we're discerning because we can see their flesh. No, anyone can see the flesh. I mean, anyone with a plank in their eye can see. Not so well. So now we're on the plank. And the Lord had to tell me, the plank, He says the splinter that you see in someone else's eye is the plank that's part of the plank that's in yours. Because remember, a plank is made out of many splinters. So we've got to understand the issue you're seeing with somebody else is still a little small issue in you. That's why you see it so well. It takes one to know one. I always say. You know what I mean? So you see it so well because maybe you got that issue in you. And the Lord says, no, don't deal with that splinter. First take the plank out of your eye so you can see to help your brother. Instead of walking around with the plank. And then when you're walking around the plank, you put them in an obstruction. Everyone can see this plank coming out, but except you can't see it. You can't see that you're pumping around and knocking people around with your plank. But you're so worried about the splinter in everyone else's eye but you're knocking them with the plank. And the Lord says, "Whoa, stop. You can't see. There's no problem trying to help your brother with a splinter. But can you take that 10,000 splinters out of your eye so that you can at least see before you do eye surgery?" An eye is a delicate thing. Just start approaching someone's eye and start to fiddle around with, see what happens. Just start moving in with your fingers like, I'm ready to know. Even putting eye drops in is a problem. Your eyes are very sensitive. And so God says, don't point the finger, point them here and say, "Okay, Lord, deal with the plank. Deal with the plank." That's humility.
Instead of doing eye surgery, do a bit of eye surgery.
Yeah, the eye surgery. Eye. You know, eye comes before doll. So the idol has to come down. We the idol. Jesus says, "Deny yourself and take up your cross and follow me." So say, deny your neighbor. Deny yourself. Okay. So okay, that was for free. Now I'm going to start. I just want to give you as quick as I can my testimony, so that they introduce themselves, but I haven't introduced myself yet. Okay, I'm Warren, and it's a privilege to be here today. I've taken many years to get here, because most probably I tell people I'm a bit slow, and I'm slow maybe to listen to the Lord, maybe a lot of disobedience or a lot of things like that, but it's taken me many years to get here. I thought, geez, why does it take me so long? So it's taken me a long time to get here, to where I am right now, which is almost like I've just got to starting. So now, a couple of decades to get to where I am now, so that I can start. But it's worth it. Like you said, you don't want to repeat that part of your life. The learning process, it's terribly awesome. It's terribly awesome when God teaches you things, but it's through hard experience that you're learning and revelation and making mistakes. So we all go through that. It's called the School of the Spirit. It's the University of Heaven. We go through this. But what is awesome about the collective wisdom is that you don't have to make the same mistakes again and again that others have made. You have people that have got grayer hair than you. Hopefully there's wisdom there that can actually say, "Look here, I made that mistake. You're 92 or 82 or 42, and you don't have to do it. This is how you can do it." That's why we need spiritual fathers. We are lacking fathers, and the whole thing of family is we need to raise sons, but you can't have a son unless you're a father, because if you're a slave, you're going to raise slaves. So we need to know the father in order to be a son. Okay, this is about sonship, but we need to know who we are as a son, and we need to know the father, and we need to then, and that nature, we can only be changed as we climb the mountain of God and know the Lord. And if you don't know about the mountain, just go and read the Final Quest. Try and read it about 6 times. And then you'll start to understand the mountain of God, which is one of the most important revelations that you need in business, is in the Final Quest.
Amen.
I read it in 96, and I read it every year. I bought 100 copies. That's how excited I was about that book, and I gave it to different leaders. I don't know if they read it, but I read it and I took notes. And that book, the revelation in that book changed my life. Okay. Because I found out that the most important thing in my life was the final review. Your final review is the most important thing that will ever happen after the fact that you've been saved. Not whether you're going to heaven and hell. We're talking now you're born again, you're going to heaven, you're following Jesus. When you get to heaven, there's the judgment seat of Christ. And you will be judged for everything that you did and said. And you want to hear only one thing. Well done, good and faithful servant. That's all I want to hear. So when I read that book, that permeated me, and I thought I must make serious adjustments. And that was from 1996. The first copy I got was actually a photocopy of the Morning Star Journal. So I read the Final Quest before it got into a book. I read it in the Morning Star Journal, but via copies that I got. So I got the first books in South Africa, most probably because I got them directly from Morning Star. And that literally changed my life. And so if you don't know what your purpose is and you don't know what the goal is, you're going to miss it. Now that sounds obvious, but that is you got to know, what are you aiming at here? What is your number one aim? What is your number one aim? And that's why we get deceived by principalities and powers, because they will try and get your aim onto money or onto fame or onto control and power and all kinds of different things, because that's the traps inside the church now. Power, name, money. That's it. Those are the acid tests that we'll be faced with in the end of the age, because that's our Lucifer. Deceived. Lucifer deceived a third of the angels in heaven with no demons around, no flesh. No sixth. In the glory of God, he was able to take out 1/3 of God's holy angels. He's a master deceiver. And the main thing he does to deceive you and me is to get you to look at yourself. If you're not looking at yourself, you're looking at others. Two of the biggest mistakes you make. Look at others and look at yourself. You are deceived. And what does he say? Looking unto Jesus, the author and the finisher of your faith. Hardest thing you're ever going to do in your life is look at Jesus. I prayed about this a lot. I said, Lord, why is it so difficult to look at you? I mean, it's awesome when you get to do it, occasionally. But why does your mind naturally gravitate towards you or people? Naturally, you're thinking about people the whole time. Naturally, you're thinking about yourself. Because of this carnal nature, the flesh, self-preservation. That's all it's about. And Jesus said, I came to set you free. And the freedom that you're going to have is only one way, the cross. I have been crucified with Christ. It is no longer I who live, but Christ who lives. Hallelujah. That's the foundation of kingdom, is the cross. There is no kingdom of God without the cross. Die to self, live to Him. So my journey really turned at that point in 1996. And we were in business. We had started a business called Classic Clean in 1990. We manufactured a washing powder called Bio Classic Washing Powder. And we launched it from the kitchen. And my focus was the marketing, the sales, okay? And we had huge opposition. You don't get much bigger opposition than Unilever. Anyone know who Unilever is? They're a massive international company. They have their own university. They're much bigger than Anglo American. And they were the opposition. And they basically gave us a call at one stage and said, who said you can actually sell the washing powder? This is South Africa. We're not in Russia here. Like we had to have asked permission. It's like, what? Anyway, like, don't you sell ice cream? Who are you? Okay. Anyway, so we ignored Unilever, and they kept coming for us for 5 years. They tried to destroy us in our company, and we had started the company as a good Christian company to give money into the gospel. Our goal was to give money away. Okay? Unfortunately, that was the wrong goal. Not according to the church and the pastors. They liked that. Very nice. Especially we were giving lots of donations away, and people liked us because we were giving donations. They just couldn't figure out later on, after 7 years, why we nearly went bankrupt. And we were giving the money away. So it's very important that I tell you this part of the testimony, because this is the foundation for Kingdom Corporation, which is another level of Kingdom business. So we started out a Christian business. We had to transition into Kingdom business, and then we had to transition into Kingdom Corporation from 1990 to now. So, and we're still learning. And we're busy writing. I've got books. I'm writing books, and Neil and I are writing a book called From Worship to Wealth. From Worship to Wealth. So we're still writing the book because we don't know yet what's cooking. So we're learning it. God's writing chapters in us, and then it becomes another chapter in the book. Okay, so let's go back there. So we had the Unilever coming against us. The Lord then told me to go and speak to the MD of Unilever in Maiden Wharf at that time. The head office was there. Went up to the top of the building. Him and the MD of the company at that time, we didn't know what we were doing, so we employed an MD. He wasn't a shareholder, we're the shareholders. I had about 21% share of the company. And anyway, so my job was the marketing, and we went to confront the MD of Unilever. Because the Lord said, David ran to the giant. So we went to his office because they were trying to close us down. They were coming against us. I had lawyers phoning me saying, we'll take you out. We've got money. We'll take your business out. And they were wrapping us in legal stuff and ASA, Advertising Standards Authority. And I'm like, much younger than I am now. I was in 20s then. And I was just very aggressive. Spiritually I was aggressive, and I was not interested in this nonsense. And I wasn't intimidated at all. Because it sounds like I didn't worry about losing everything. I'd lost it before. I'd already been bankrupt once. So I didn't worry because God had told us to do this. So I just went in, not in arrogance, I just went in because I knew God was with us. So we went in and we sat down in his office. We didn't get coffee or tea. And we just told him basically that an attack on us is like an attack on St. James Church. And that was about when they bombed the church in St. James, 94. Okay, so when all the bombs were going off everywhere in South Africa, it was interesting before the elections. We told him to stop his nonsense. Not like that. Can you just give us a break? Why are you doing this? And then, okay, so that strategy didn't work. So I just said to him, I love you. I don't have we love you as a person, everything okay, but it's going to work like this. If you're coming against us, you're coming against God, and God is going to deal with you. Mm-hmm. Okay? Now, I don't know if you know, the directors of these companies, they are involved in other things. Okay? So I didn't address that issue, but you've got to know who you're dealing with. So I just said, if you come against us, you're coming against God. Like with Moses. Okay, and then we said goodbye and we left. Well, we did it nicer than that, but not good that good at telling stories. I'll just give you the rough version. Neil does it nicely. All right, storytelling. I'll give you it as rough as I can remember, the way I can remember it. Okay, so now, anyway, they attacked us, and eventually we got onto Good Morning South Africa. Good Morning South Africa, where Dorian Berry and Ian Vos. Anyone remember them? Yes. Good Morning South Africa. Live program. I'm on that program. And I, in those days, looked younger than I was. I don't know what age I thought I was. But I was on that program. And here we have this German, the marketing director of Unilever. German. I mean, from Germany, with the German accent, everything. And there he was. They are the biggest advertisers with SABC at that time. And at that time, their budget was over 100 million a year on TV advertising alone. Okay, so you must know they have got a bit of influence there. So we had Dorian Berry and Ian Vos. Good cop, bad cops. It's just really what happened. Ian Vos, he's kind of like good cop. Dorian Berry, and this guy just goes for me. Just lying and saying how terrible our product is and blah, 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 blah. And I just kept quiet. Because the Lord just gave me peace. And it was 30 minutes and I must have spoke for about 2. So you know what, when people accuse you, you can take like 3 hours just to, that's the accuser. He just, but it backfired. Watch this. So what happens is, one of the things I said to them, I said, but funny you say it doesn't work. We've got like 100,000 customers using BioClassic, and you saying it doesn't work. Our customers think it works. And I said, by the way, we were at the ASA yesterday, and you said that the customers are not qualified to judge in these matters. That's what he said. When he said that, I thought, that's fantastic. I think the customers cannot judge the product quality. What a bargain. No, I was very excited at that incompetence. So what happens is, he then denies it. Flat. I never said that. Show was over. Bang. The switchboard was jammed. The people were phoning. They were so upset with Unilever. Never going to buy Unilever product. How do they beat up this guy on live TV, foreigners. No, that everything they did to come against us backfired on them. So that guy was taken out. Our sales jumped up, which was awesome. Every time they hit us, every time they attacked us, our sales jumped up. We got a double-page Huisgenoot article, a double-page U magazine. I mean, today it'll cost you like $1 million just for those two. Front page, Business Day, soap walls. Okay, so you can't pay for that. Publicity, boom, soap wall, boom, boom, boom. This was over and over. God just blessed us. Every time they attacked us, I got excited. I said, well, this is good. This is good because we got so much publicity out of this thing. The Women's League, the Housewife League took it up. And everyone was fighting for us. We had so much favor. We had so much support. You know, David and Goliath, they even said, David and Goliath situation, the people were feeling sorry for us, or sorry for me. I let this guy just beat me up on TV. And that was their plan. Beat him up and just accuse him. And I just said a few things. And everyone said, no, this is not right. And our sales went up. So they must have been amazed. Okay, cut a long story short. So they carried on with that, and they carried on with their attacks. And then we you know, this is just before the elections, and we thought, well, yes, we must take them to Goldstone. You know the Goldstone Commission? Then we found out you have to have someone killed before that happens. So no one was there. So I said, okay, we can't go to the Goldstone. They're about to close our company because ASA can tell you to take a product off the shelf because you can't advertise and anything like that. So we were like threatened. The whole company's at stake. I think at that stage, we, I don't know what we were doing, turnover, maybe $1 million a month. Okay, so what happens is, then someone came out with the idea, competitions board. So we were talking to a lawyer at Weber Wenzel, which is a very expensive attorney company, and they said it'll take you 6 months to go and even see them apply to the competitions board. This whole process. Okay, competition boards are government departments, and you don't want to mess around with the competition board. Okay, so what happens is we phoned them, and we forgot Weber Wenzel, and we just phoned them because we were just like normal people. Not out of the corporate world. We had to hire someone out of the corporate world just to show us how to have meetings. We have 5-hour meetings, no agenda, fighting, arguing. Christians. I mean, we didn't have a cooking clue. Okay, but we had faith, and God was working, but we didn't have the order. So we had someone coming in and mentoring us and helped me so much. His name was Chris Root. And he helped me and helped us to understand strategy and all that, which has really helped me later on. But anyway, we go there that day for the appointment to go and see some guy, and the guy meets us at the lift. You don't normally have someone meet you at the lift. He met us at the lift. He says, this guy's sick, but I'll help you. He's the director, competition board. So we see him. In about an hour, I share what's cooking. He goes out of his office, he comes back after 5 minutes, he says, can you make that half an hour? That was difficult for me. I said, sure. Just can you make it in half an hour? Walking to, he said, the chairman wants to see you. That's the chairman of the competition board, Dr. Pierre Brooks at that stage. So we walk into his office, give him a half an hour, what's happening of the scenario. He gets upset, he starts messing around with his tie, he goes red in the face, he's very upset, he says, don't worry, let me sort this out. We leave his office, he faxes them, those days of faxing, he faxed Unilever, and he shut them off completely from attacking us, and we never had another attack again. That was in, I think, 2004, 2005. Boom, the attack stopped. Now that's God's deliverance. The guy, I mean, with all the money, because basically they put you in jail. Alright, but later on I found out the guy that I'd spoken to, the MD, he became the personnel manager. Remember the guy? He became the personnel manager. The company, demotion. You don't want to be an MD and then become the personnel manager. Okay, so he was demoted. That guy. They didn't give us coffee. So anyway, give him for that. We blessed him. But God, because I just knew you're coming against the Lord. Nothing to do with us. Don't take it personally. They're coming against the Lord. If God's giving you a mandate, they're coming against the Lord. And the Lord is able to protect what He developed. So now, but that wasn't our worst attack. We had bigger things coming. Because the devil's got a plan for you. The devil's got a plan for you. God's got a plan for you. Okay, so the devil's always got a plan to sort you out. So he said, okay, couldn't win then, and then basically, that was 94, 95. By 96, okay, do you want to turn the aircon on? Do you want the aircon on?
I'm trying to understand the remote control. Sorry.
Understand, there are technical people here. Someone help with the remote control there. Okay, thanks. You got it, okay. So, by 97, God sent me to Benin, West Africa. And there the Lord sent us there to help the government, because the government, the president wanted us to help him with the country, because he just got saved and he was busy breaking down voodoo altars. Now that's where voodoo was started in Benin. So when I got there, I didn't know anything about spiritual warfare. Okay? I didn't know about intercession. I got there, passionate about kingdom business or Christian business and developing the country with a whole lot of other Christian business people from all over the world through ICCC. We get there, no one's praying. No one's praying. No one's praying. So I got two things in Benin. One nearly killed me, the other one killed me. So the one that nearly killed me was malaria. So that's not such fun, having malaria, but that wasn't the problem, the real problem. The real problem was the revelation of kingdom business. That killed me. That has cost me. Revelation is costly. Because the enemy hates revelation, and you're going to have to pay a price to obey it. The price you pay is you lay your life down, and people will attack you, and you will lose things. Because the devil is serious about coming against anything God says for you. Okay, so now I get this awesome revelation, chapter 2, chapter 4, chapter 6 of book of Acts. I'm excited. We must give our business away now. I'm coming back. Now we must be doing like about 30 million rand a year. And I come back with this awesome revelation, book of Acts. They laid all the money at the apostles' feet. They sold the houses. They gave it all away. They put it, so I had this whole thing. We must put everything into a trust. We just become trustees. And it's going to be a multi-generational business. All this, what we're talking about. So now we got the partners. So now I'm the youngest person there. By the way, this is what the Lord told me. We mustn't be owners, we must be stewards. Big story. Big explosion. From that day there was a separation. Me. And from that day the enemy was trying to get rid of me in that business. From 1997. By the end of that was August 97. By January 1998, I was fasting and praying for the business because we were about to close our doors, because we had 12 million rands worth of debt and 5 million rands of loss. Our interest bill was 375,000 rand a month. A month interest. So it's like you got a big ship and this thing is going to go down. So I'm fasting and praying, what's going on? And I come out of the charismatic movement, which largely doesn't believe in God's judgment, because they don't read the whole